Welcome back, everyone. And yeah, it's been quite some time since last time I did a video like this. But hey, it's Father's Day. So would be really nice to finish it off in with something very useful. So what do we have in here? Well, we have some earbuds that I created. Let's call it like that. I created them with Midjourney. It's actually the AI that did it for me based on a prompt. And yeah, we will try to use SolidWorks today and see how far we are going to go trying to do these earbuds. So before we start, it would be nice, just as in anything I do really, to make some sort of a plan to go forward with them. Not something very complicated, but enough to understand and distinguish the surfaces around. So we have this earbuds here in Photoshop, and I will draw a few lines just to see what kind of surfaces we have. And I'm going to focus only on main surfaces and trying to understand the patches that I will have to create in SolidWorks. So in here on the edge will be just a simple surface curved as well, and another curved surface in here, and again curved and curved, and the curvature is reduced. But then from what I'm reading on the surface, this is following like this, and here in this point will be quite interesting. We have an inflection point, but it is just fading away in here. And yeah, so that means that we will have something similar to this as a patch, and we will combine it with another one. Let me get the eraser. And we will probably have to combine it with another patch that will run on the other side like this. So fairly simple object. It does have a few cuts, so but initially we focus only on the surface that is without cuts. What would be interesting would be to see how we can actually achieve this transition in here, given that the surface is following this profile, but then it goes into the opposite direction. And I'm not sure if I'm going to create anything from here, but we shall see. It doesn't really make sense to have this in here, but I will see. I will see how I can what makes sense or not really, having some earphones here on my desk. And then we will have a different part in here that will just follow the surface around, so that wouldn't be much of a problem. Sorry about the very bad writing or line drawing in here, but I'm not drawing directly on the screen, so I'm using a different tablet. But yeah, that's kind of it. So let's jump onto it. Right, so if we go into SolidWorks, I already created some very simple assembly. Now bear with me, I didn't get into SolidWorks for about 2 months, so it will take me some time to remember. Alright, I think it was just double click to get it active. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, so let's unhide the planes. Not the great. That's interesting. Ah, yes, now I remember. Edit part. This one doesn't work with double click, is working with edit part. SolidWorks and Katia. a joy. They like to do things differently. Anyway, let's insert a sketch somewhere on a plane. Which plane? So probably on the Y plane. We have a sketch. Let's turn on the grid. Yeah, for some reason I don't see the planes. Anyway, so let's go back onto the plane. I just want to be sure I'm here. All right, so now we should go into insert. We should have, so it works only into a sketch to insert the picture. Ah yes, it should be tools. Sketch tools, sketch picture. Wow. So yeah, it doesn't work by just drag and drop a picture like in other software. It has to have all those kind of menus. All right, so in projects, we should have Solidworks, earphones, and let's get the picture in here. Okay, so I suppose quite big. Now, how big should it be? Well, for that, first, let's click OK. Secondly, let's throw something like a box in here, and let's try to insert some dimensions for it to understand how big. So how big some earbuds could be. Yeah, so if I'm taking that as a length, yeah, I would say around 40 millimeters. Okay, it does require to say 40 millimeters. Okay, so that's good. For now, we leave it as it is. Double click on the picture to be able to scale it down. And let's scale this thing down. Now we don't have a top picture, so it would be a bit challenging this time. We will have to do everything imagining how it would be from a top view, for example, from a side view. We have only a 3/4 view, which is very far from ideal. Do I have a flip in here for this image? I should. There. How was in the picture? It was like that, yes. Let's go with the flip. Let's put things as close to origin as possible. And yeah, it has 40 millimeters, but then okay. Yeah. It should be long, but I'm not sure now how long it would be. Okay, let's get out of the sketch. Okay, so something is wrong in here. For some reason, I cannot see the sketch. Okay, so it works. Definitely it's not from here. Okay, let's open this separately. Okay, so if I open it separately, does show it. Okay, that's a bit weird. We'll have to solve that later on. Okay, so now I can also see the planes. That's cool. So right plane from plane, that's great. I think I will want to rotate the picture, however. And okay. And of course, it's not going to work like that. Yeah. How much? Something similar to this. I do want to have it on the horizontal. Okay, that's a bit better. It still does feel a bit weird, but compared to how we have it in here, maybe like this. Ah, yes, far better like that. I'd rather have it. Okay. So how about 0? 0 degrees. Okay. Okay. Yes. So that's closer to what we should have. A bit big. So probably the length shouldn't be this. Okay, let's start to adjust this. 40 millimeters we said. This should be more like 20. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We just need to understand roughly the dimensions. All right, let's delete this. Oh, yes. Okay. All right. So now that we have done that, and finally I start to get a little bit more used with this, with SolidWorks, let's make the first curves. So what should I have? So I need, not from front, from right plane, I would need this one and this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one curve. I use a 3 points curve and I try to stick to that. There are many reasons why to stick with 3 points curve. But for now, I would just say I like to stick with 3 points curve and just adjust the handles whenever I need. For now, I'm not going to be too fussy about how precise it is. I'm just interested to get more like the feeling of it, because I'm sure I will adjust it afterwards. But that's why we are making all these surfaces a bit bigger so that we can adjust them afterwards, and so that we don't really spend a lot of time because somehow the surfaces are falling over and we cannot really adjust them anymore. Right, so they disappeared. Which one was the... Ah, yes, they didn't disappear. It's simply because it's right on origin. Okay, never mind. So I should be able to create an extrude, but I do not want to create an extrude because it's curved in two directions. So what do I want now will be to insert a plane right here in the middle so that I have precision and control into the surface that I will create. And that's a good thing because SolidWorks does have the option to create a plane right in somewhere on a curve, and that is normal to the curve. So that's great. For that we need to insert the point, and after we insert the point we can insert the plane, and it should recognize it straight away, normal to the curve. Yeah, normal to the curve. That's great. Yep, I'm happy with that. However, I do want to adjust it, and just to be sure I'm not getting lost into planes. For now, I'm going to hide the top one and the front one, yes. Right, let's create the second curve. If I remember correctly, SolidWorks is not too picky about the curves intersecting each other. So theoretically, if I remember right, I should be able to create another curve. Oops, let me see where I am. Yeah, there you go. No, on the other side. Yes, a bit confusing given the picture that is rotated, but anyway. So I should be able to create the other curve, and I shouldn't have a problem after that to create the surface out of it. Cool. So what was the command? Boundary surface or loft? No, it was swept. So that means I'm having this and this, and there you go. And I want it fully. Do I want it fully? Not for now. No, not for now. We will just apply a symmetry afterwards. We will have to deal with the tangency afterwards, but that's very simple to deal with. I just want to understand and get the feeling of this model first. Right, so leave it only for half. That's great. Now, let me see. So the other set of curves should be in there. All right, not set of curves, just curves. Okay, let's create a curve. This one should be a lot more simple and smaller. Okay. Let me see. Yes, control. I forgot how to pan in SolidWorks. All right. Okay, quite aggressive. Let's adjust this tangent. Yep, happy with that. Let me introduce a point on the curve. Just point, please. Aha, because I have the plane selected. There. Anywhere should be just fine. I want to be closer to the center, just in case I will ever need it. All right, let's introduce plane. There. Okay, let me adjust this plane. And another sketch. So we are flying blind, especially given the fact that we don't have a top view. So that's why it's critical to make all this in such a way that we can adjust them afterwards. Otherwise, we are going to lose a lot of time. So another loft. Which one is this? Profile. Yes, so the profile. No, I don't want that profile. Delete. I want this profile. And I want this guide curve. Great. Okay. All right, so these are quite big ones. So how about I'm going to adjust them a bit. Let me see, can I see? Yes, actually, I'm sure I can see the curves. So I'm going to unhide them. By default, they should be visible. Yes, that's great. All right. So given that they're quite big, Solidworks, I remember, could let us adjust them in real time. Okay. The new updates don't let us do that anymore. Okay, that's a bit weird. That's very, very weird. Okay, fine. And it's sketch then. Okay, let me reduce this. This is quite annoying. Come on, Solidworks. You were quite good before. Okay, fine. Am I again upside down? No, I'm not. Okay, so that's that. Now, what do I need? I need a surface right from above. That will construct the side. Okay, that's not a problem. I do want to adjust this because it's quite white. I don't like to have all this white in here. It's just too bad for the eyes. Which one was it in the past? I remember I had a very nice one. Factory floor, reflective black. Yeah, I think reflective black is quite all right. Okay, good. So now we need something from the top, maybe somewhere in the middle. But this time I do want to be specific about the about where I am creating. I do want to be quite on the middle of it. So, but given that this model is not really aligned perfectly horizontal, I am going to create a line, extrude it, and make like a median line of this model and make a make a plane out of it, or not even. I remember it was working straight away to make sketches right there on the surface, so it should work just fine. Yes, that's all right. Okay, now let's create the curve from the top that will give us the other shape, and again it will be the surface will be composed out of two curves. It's clearly towards the yeah, towards the back is thinner. I think, yeah, I think I needed to get it a bit better. So let's try to do that. Yeah, I'll have to find out what they changed so that I can adjust the sketches in real directly without getting into edit sketch and do all that. That's a bit bad. It's quite a lot of work for nothing. But for now, we're going to do as it is. Okay, so that's that. Okay, let's try something new and interesting rather than making another set of curves. Something that SolidWorks should have, and they should be really nice. And I believe it will be useful for you to see and to understand. It will be quite efficient to do it in this way instead of curves. But what SolidWorks has something called freeform. This is really powerful thing. So first of all, the freeform is going to record the the adjustments that you do on the surface and apply them every time you modify the profile of the surface. So for example, if I'm going into, first of all, we need to have the edges, different edges, to have them free or in tangent or in curvature, whatever. Sometimes it's helpful when you have another surface that is in contact with, so you try to modify. But for now, just to prove or to yeah to prove the concept, let's say I put them all in movable. All right, and after we put them in movable, we have something really powerful in here. These arrows here are the tangent handles of the surface. So that means that if I am going to modify the tangents, right, another thing, I do want not snap to geometry. I know the control points, yes, I do want them. Triads follow selection, yes, but I do want them global so that every time I modify them, they will stay in the same position. Right. So it's a bit clunky initially, or that's what it seems. But if you select it and move it in the free form, then it's way less clunky. Right, so let's modify it like that. We just need to put those to make this surface curved, right? So let's move the tangents. You do not require to introduce any more lines in the middle. So the more lines you have, the more you struggle to control the whole surface, which is really, it comes with experience. Once you start to understand the behavior, generally speaking, it's not only SolidWorks, it's almost any 3D design software, you will start to realize that, yeah, less is better. Right, so for now, I'm creating only this. Now, usually this kind of stuff are destructive, which means that every time you are going to modify something in, let's say, here, then you will have to go and adjust the tangent handles again and again and again, and that's how you lose time. But at least before the update, SolidWorks did have something really cool. If I'm modifying this surface, let's say I want to, the surface profile, I want to move it from here to here, and I want to modify it, something like that. Okay, let's try something like this and something like this, right? Watch, it's still curved. So that means that we could get rid of one curve. So instead of making two curves to create a loft surface and then keep adjusting the curves around, we can really just create one surface and then just adjust the tangent handles, and that would be it. Now I'm curious, I didn't test it to see how extreme can it be. So if I'm going with the curve like that, is it going to retain? Yes, it does, which is great. It's not in the same way, however, but hey, that's a lot of time reduced in there. All right, awesome. So let me see how we can see things in here. Where was it? Ah, should be here, isn't it? Nope. Yes, here. Yeah, something is wrong with SolidWorks on my machine. So I will have to go into and adjust some options. Ah, no, no, no. All right. So for now, we have all that, all those surfaces, and what else do we miss? Well, we miss something here at the base. It's curved like that, and we miss something here at the top. Now we leave the top for next time because we don't have more time left. I think 10, 15 minutes maybe. So I will go only at the bottom and see how it goes, and after that I can see, yeah, how the model, or maybe we can do the top as well, just slightly to understand. All right, let's do that. So I'm going back onto my right plane. Yeah, it's perspective, so it would be hard to understand how it will go. But anyway, so what did I say? Yeah, so I said 3 points spline, and yes, I still want to commit to that one, to this principle. So that means we will have two splines that will compose the surface. Now, again, we will apply the same principle as before. We will just update the surface directly rather than creating two lines, two splines to create the surface. So let's extrude this. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay, now let's go from here to be able to see, save it on the PC. All right, so again, let's freeform this. Now, here is why it becomes very useful. Here is in contact, but imagine that you would have a surface. Imagine that you would have its symmetry on the other side. If you would have its symmetry on the other side, you would like to keep it in curvature to be sure that you are not going to lose any kind of seams. You are not going to have any kind of seams. So then if I move everything into movable, except that edge, that would be around the symmetry. Movable, movable. And now if I'm going in here, first of all, I need to move all this up. There. So there you go. So it does retain this in curvature. Very useful for later on when we will try to make the symmetry of everything. And actually now I'm thinking that it is much easier than doing two curves, making loft and all that. But we shall see how all this goes while we work on it. Right, so let's try to, as you can see, it still keeps it in such a way so that it ends in curvature. Very useful. Right, so let's go, let's adjust this for a bit more. I forgot how was the shortcut for navigating from one view to another. Need to remember that. All right, something like that. I'm fine with that for now. And now something like this one in here. That's weird. You should move the surface, isn't it? Ah, yes. I selected the wrong one. Yeah, for now I do want to go a bit more, just to be sure I'm not. Okay. How is it in here? Yeah, it's curved, but not too curved. Okay. So that would be it for now for this surface. Um, let's hide this picture in here and let's blend them in. Now, from what I saw in Solidworks, it's not so stable when you use fillets straight from the surfaces. Now, Katya it is very stable, but Solidworks, yeah, not so stable. So maybe this update of Solidworks is a bit better. I don't know. You know what? Let's try. So let's try to make the fillets between the surfaces. I should just go to fillet. Yes, there you go. So it's this option in here. You have to click on the third option, face fillet. Now let's do this with the base and let's leave this for last. So between this facing inwards and the other face should be this, and now it's creating the fillet. I do want to go curvature continuous. Now how much do I want? Maybe 3 millimeters. Okay, how is it looking in here? Yeah, I think I could go with 3 millimeters, so let's do it like that. Okay, all right. Oh yeah, that's a big right plane, and that is because of this curve in here. I wouldn't need it. Now I don't want to move it either, so I will anchor it in place to be sure I'm not moving it in Z-axis. I will make it way smaller. Okay, should be just fine. Yep. Now let's do the other face fillet, and we should be able to test the curves as well. So fillet again. Keep selecting like I'm in Katya. Alright, but now we have a way bigger fillet in there. So we were at 3, I would say double, 6, even more. Okay, 8. 8 should be just fine. Okay, so we may not like initially what it is in here, but we will see. It's a bit too steep in there. We should have a lot. Yeah, we should have it a bit more. Yeah, and again, I don't have the when I click on them, it's not giving me the options to change things. Okay, cool. Definitely will need to go into settings and adjust some things around. 15. Okay, okay, 15 is too much. Huh. Okay, so double click didn't work very well. Okay, 10 millimeters. I did press enter. Come on. Still. 10, not very good. Okay, and that's why it is like that. Okay, no problem. Double click. Huh, still not. Okay. Let's try 5 again. 5 millimeters. Okay. Wow, okay, they introduced a few more things in here, like tolerance, precision, and all that. That's quite cool. Nice. Okay. And he's not updating the fillet for some reason. Okay, that's why. So again, let's try again. Between this and this curvature, yeah, let's try 10. 10 should be alright compared to 15. I don't like 15. Okay, so you need to click edit on it. Otherwise, it would be annotations. Okay. Right, I need to update myself on SolidWorks. All right, so that's that. And then we have a hard edge in here, but I believe we have a very soft edge at the bottom, right at the bottom. So that means we can just apply straight away. Yes, a soft edge. That means let's reverse that. That means that would be a good fillet. Okay, so we need to select all the surfaces in here. That's the difference. If you would have it done with edge fillet, it will select it automatically. So that's one thing that we lose. We lose time, but it should be better. And it got me out from fillet for some reasons. Let's try again. So between this, reverse, and then this. Nice written tangent propagation, but we shall see. 10 again. Both facing inwards, that's good. Okay. Okay, looks weird at 10. I think it's too much. So how about we try 5 initially? Somehow I still cannot see the preview for some very weird reasons. Okay, let's commit to it. Ah, that's why. It's way too much. Okay, let's try 2 millimeters first. Nope. 1. Okay, 1 millimeter worked like that. So that's cool. So I think after yes, so he's getting some okay 1.5 millimeters. Okay, so 1.5 millimeters does work. It's not a problem. If we cannot solve it like that, we will have to do it manually. I just don't really like to do it manually. Okay, let's try again 3. Nah. So most probably we will have to do it manually. But, let's try another one. Instead of that, let's trim it. So I do select trim mutual so that I do gain some time. So between these two surfaces, and now let's remove selections. So I want to remove this and I want to remove that. Okay, and now let's try the edge fillet instead. I know that is a little bit more. There you go. It should be a little bit more stable. So I'm selecting 2 edges. I did see that it's not quite the same fillet all around, so I will try a variable fillet first. I'm having 3 millimeters in here. I want 5, and I want still 5. I want to go towards 3. Let's see, is it going all right? No. Well, in the end, we may end up doing them manually, given that it's a little bit too much for Solidworks. Yeah. Let's see what's happening here at the back. Okay. So there is another solution. But no, I will try like this. I will still try 1 in here. So I suspect that the ones at the back are a little bit problematic. And 1 in and 3 in there. There. Yeah, I was right. So the ones at the back are the ones that are giving us trouble. I do one smooth transition. How could we make this all right? Let's try first to see if it's still do it. Yeah, it is poorly, because it will force me to select the edge, but at least now it's doing it, but it's far from what we need. So that means I will be forced to increase this towards 5, or even more than 5, but to keep those ones here at 1. And yeah, and it starts to not to look like what we have in here. So that means that we will have to probably, yeah, blend them manually at the bottom. Not a problem, but that will be next time when I'm doing the next video. So I hope that you do find what I'm doing here useful, and well, if you find it or you don't, just drop a comment in the comment section of the video, and yeah, have a nice evening, and I shall see you next time. Bye.